All right. Jumping back up, I don't remember. I didn't write down who said this, but somebody was saying they're ranking #1 on SEO. Is it worth it to pay somebody to do SEO? I would probably say if you're already #1, maybe still actually. But Waleed, what do you think? Worth it to pay for SEO for your laundromat or laundry service?
So I always hear this classic word used for with some questions is depends. So I'm gonna I'm gonna work hard to avoid that word tonight. I would look at that question two ways. Are you ranking number one?
So it depends, is what you're saying.
I didn't say it, you
Okay.
did. Are you ranking number one because you did the work to get you number one? Like you optimized your website, you have blog posts, the metadata on your website, keywords, you're writing articles, you're getting link backs, etc. So if you built it up yourself that way, then I'd probably like you might not need someone else, but it probably is a good idea to probably have a consultation with some SEO firms that are reputable or good in your area or in our industry, just to get their feedback and see if there's anything else you can do to tweak it. Because you not only are you number one, you want to stay number one. And let's be mindful, everyone. Our industry is super hot right now. Everybody that's got 3/4 to rub together wants to buy a laundromat. And the internet has exposed, and when I say exposed, not in a bad way, it has highlighted our industry as this passive, easy way to make money. And anybody in this chat who has a vended slash self-service or does pickup and delivery knows that's far from the truth. Now, if we look at passive as the Webster's definition of it, I would probably say, okay, yes, because in a lot of cases, we're not doing the work directly that produces the revenue at the store. But the society and culture in its present day has labeled passive as you can have this thing that you do nothing. You sit on a beach with a laptop and flip flops, and money just comes rolling in every week. So let's just keep that in mind. So if you're the other piece of it is you're number one on your SEO because you have no competition. You might be like, I know some people, Joy and I were just chatting about, they're like, oh, the nearest store or competitor to my store is like 10 miles away. Well, by default, you're number one because there's no one else in your area. So I would say look at those two scenarios, because if you've done the work to get to number one, keep doing what you're doing and consult with somebody to see what else you could do to improve on that. And if you're number one by default, you probably want to have a conversation with someone too to figure out what can you do to safeguard your number one position by default in case other people start coming into your market. And don't think someone's going to come into your market just with a self-service store. You're like, oh, I know where all the stores are. I know where all the vacant retail space are to anyone. I've got a post on my neighborhood. Don't forget these ghost laundromats, right? And we kind of operate in that zone where someone is driving around, picking up laundry, and they take it to another laundromat, or they process it at home, like Poplin, aka was it Sudshare before. And listen, go to WeFunder and just Google. You have no idea how many people are raising money right now to start some laundry slash tech firm. It's bananas. So be mindful and be careful.
Yeah. And that's why I've been saying over and over and over again, it's time for us to up our game as operators, because the competition is here and it's coming and people are getting more sophisticated in our business. And that field of dreams, if you build it, they will come business model it's already gone. So if you're still banking on that, you might be able to hold on to it in certain markets for a little bit, but
Be careful.
you'll be tomorrow's zombie mats if you keep going down that way.